Hello, welcome to my channel. You're watching Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie, and I am a homeschool mom to 3 kiddos, one who has autism and 2 typically developing daughters. So my son is autistic, and I am just enjoying sharing videos with you about homeschooling, typical and atypical children. I'm doing that at the same time. I just spent a big portion of our summer getting our homeschool room beautified, and I know that's not a word, but I like it, and organizing and prepping for this coming homeschool year, and I'm looking forward to sharing more as this coming year comes along. So if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button or the thumbs up button and all of that kind of fun stuff so that you don't miss my videos coming out every Sunday at noon my time, but yeah, they come on Sunday. So this video is about what I've learned about homeschooling special needs children, and I've been doing it for 3-4 years, and I am in no way, shape, or form a expert at this, so I want to put that proviso out right off the bat, if that's the right word. Is that the right word? Yeah, I just want to let people know I am in no way, shape, or form an expert. But I have learned some things in this journey, and I will leave a link down below to our homeschooling journey. I did it in part 1 and part 2 just because I was trying to keep my videos short, but there was a lot of information to go through. This was not my dream. I never planned on homeschooling, and then certainly not planned on homeschooling a special needs child. I graduated from high school with a very average grade point average, and so it wasn't something that I even felt remotely capable of doing. It was kind of something that God said, this is my plan for you, and I'm so thankful He did, because yeah, I am so thankful He did, because I am completely and totally fulfilled in what He has assigned for me. So that's kind of the information for before. If you want more information, the links will be down below. But the number one thing that I have learned over the last 3-4 years is I have no room in my life for regrets. And what does that mean? Well, if you're an autism parent or a parent who went on this journey in a weird way, which is what we did. Darrion wasn't diagnosed until he was 7. There were lots of times where I could look back and go, man, I wish I did this, or I wish I had done that, or I wish I had met this doctor, or I knew about the Sunrise program way, way, way before. And what I've realized in those musings about what ifs is that they're completely useless. In the grand scheme of things, there's nothing that I can do. I can't turn the clock back. I don't have the green, what is it on Avengers, the green glowy thing that you turn, and most of you are probably laughing at me because you probably know what I'm talking about if you have boys or girls who are into the Avengers, but I don't have one of those time things that you can turn and turn back time. I don't. I wish I did sometimes, but I don't. And so having no regrets is just meaning I'm not going to spend my time looking back wishing it was different. Instead, I am going to look forward and accept that this life is a process. It's a process, and there's no condemnation in the process. I feel like if you have regrets, like the time where I was so focused on getting Darrion to do paperwork that I had us sitting here for 3 hours at the table waiting for him to finally acquiesce to my request. if I look back and go, man, I wish I hadn't done that, it would diminish the fact that he has already forgiven me for that. He already understood that I didn't know what I was doing, and yet he has said in the past that I'm the best teacher for him and that I understand him. And it's amazing when you realize that you don't have grace for yourself, that your kids and your Heavenly Father have for you. And I'm recognizing that more and more in our spiritual lives, in our lives as mothers, in our lives as homeschool parents, is that it's really easy for us to look back and condemn ourselves for stuff. And maybe that's not the best way forward. And so accepting that I'm learning and growing and changing, and thanking my kids for understanding that mommy might not have the handbook on this and that that's okay, is still a really awesome thing. So number 2, I've learned that I need to come alongside and not be a bulldozer. So what do I mean by that? So I've been thinking, if you're in the Sunrise program and you're a Sunrise program viewer, watcher, or whatever, you know this already. It's recognizing their red lights versus their green lights. The red lights are when they're like, I can't take any more information on board. I have this really weird hair doing something. Sorry, it was distracting me. That, I can't take any more information on board. Mommy, stop. And then the green lights where they're like, yay, we're learning and this is awesome and let's keep going and moving and stuff like that. The best way I can illustrate this is when my husband and I, Colin, were on our honeymoon. We were on this gorgeous beach in Oregon. Beautiful, gorgeous beach. And in front of us, there came a father and son playing football on the beach. And you kind of think, oh, well, that's sweet. It wasn't. It wasn't. I think the father had ideas that his son needed to become an NFL player. That's American, right? The American Football League. Anyway, he had designs that his child was going to become this, and his son was properly miserable. Properly like, Dad, I don't want to do this. And he's like, you're going to do this. We're going to keep going until you get this right. You have to catch it just this way, and you have to throw it with the twirl. And like, he was probably about 7 or 8. And it was heartbreaking to watch because, it was like right in front of us, right in front of our view of the ocean. So it wasn't like we were, in their way. But at the same time, what can you do? Like, we didn't feel that we could walk up and go, hey, you're doing the parenting thing wrong. And we do it as special needs parents, not out of wanting our child to become football players at a national level. It's more, we want to protect them. We want them to be self-sufficient. We want them to be able to balance a checkbook themselves so that they don't get taken advantage of. We want them to know how to have a job. And, there's so many things. The book for your child's possible life seems so big, and you have to fit so much information in there as quickly as possible so that you can foresee all of their possible needs 20 years down the road. And because we do that, sometimes we become like that father. We can become the bulldozers who go, I don't care what you're feeling. You need to do this because you absolutely need to do it right now. And early on in my homeschool, I was kind of like that. And I was, using the bulldozer and burying him under the expectations that I had based on the typical school that I grew up in and that my kids were in and whatever. And it was just not the best choice. And so what I love about coming alongside is like putting your arm around your child, and you can constantly feel what their body feels like, if they're getting tense, if they're getting nervous, if they're, getting done. You can tell that. You can look at their face and see what, like, are they getting it? Are they not? Are we going to have to change the way I teach this? Am I going to let you type your math lessons using your tongue on my computer? Like, you come alongside and you figure out what they need for their sensory issues, for their issues that they have right in those moments, and you allow them to lead you instead of you leading them by bulldozing them. So number 3, celebrate achievements, enjoy, love, and hope for your child. So again, if you're a Sunrise program viewer, this is one of those things where, I liken it to celebrating them so that they are able to move forward. And I think I've reiterated this in another one of my videos, but celebrating achievements means that you are in a positive place as a homeschool parent. You are congratulating him on using his tongue to do his lesson because he finished it. Even if it took 2 hours to do one math lesson, he completed it. And you're looking at it from that lens, not of rose-colored glasses necessarily, but looking at it through the lens of joy rather than it took 2 hours and it shouldn't have taken us 2 hours. There's 2 ways to look at that situation, and the one that's positive, the one that's filled with joy, helps you, but also gives your child more and more ability to recognize that they can do it. And so then next time, maybe it'll take a year, or 2 or 3, but next time they might use their fingers because they know that they can do it, because you've instilled in them that they can do it. And so that positive affirmation is really, really important. Number 4, it's okay to leave paperwork behind. It's okay to leave paperwork behind. What do I mean by that? So for my special needs child, I didn't recognize that I could leave the paperwork behind because I didn't know any better. I grew up in public school. My kids were going to a public/private school. There was no knowledge beyond that. And so what I've been doing and what I've been thinking about doing is writing a list of my hopes and goals for my son, and then writing a curriculum or an objective list. What should he know by this time and this time and this time to help him achieve those goals? So for an example is, I want him to be self-sufficient as much as he possibly can. So what does that mean? Well, one day he's going to have to live in a house. One day he's going to have to live in a house. If I can teach him how to do dishes, that's a life skill. It's not paperwork, and that's okay, because he's not going to need to know how to do calculus, but he's going to need to know how to do dishes. Laundry, vacuuming, all of those life skills, if I can teach him how to do that now, then it's okay if he doesn't learn calculus. It's okay. So it's just one of those things of reshifting your expectations and your ideas based on not the school process, because I do have those expectations for my girls, but I shouldn't have them for my son. And so that's one of those things where you're reorienting your mind to figure this stuff out. So those are 4 things that I have learned over my 4 years of homeschooling a special needs child. I hope that they have been helpful and that you have enjoyed me. You've enjoyed me ranting on. But yeah, feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. Have a great day.